Hello, and this is the Paul and Stephen podcast. Welcome. Just like to introduce myself. My name is Paul Charland. I'm Associate Director at Haus. I'm joined by Stephen Leckie, and I'm joined by a very special guest, Denis, who is the co-founder of Really, which is the real estate platform. So a quick introduction from Stephen, and then over to Denis.
Yeah, this is Stephen Leckie, Associate Director of Haus, and I'm here today with Paul and Denis.
And Denis.
Paul, Stephen, thank you for having me here. My name is Denis. Right now, I'm running a platform for B2B segment in the real estate. It's called Really, and I'm in Dubai for 12 years and 11 years in the industry.
Lovely. Thank you very much, Denis. And so this platform of yours, tell us something about it, please, because it is very interesting and very useful.
Sure, yeah. So I had a quite successful career of being a real estate agent, and in the last few years I was mainly focusing on the off-plan market, and I know very well what are the problems that the agents are facing on the off-plan market, and especially there are a lot of things that can be improved in the communication between the agent and developers. So at one evening, one guy texted me on the Instagram, and he said, "Denis, I have one platform. I want to meet with you and discuss with you about it." And as usually, I don't entertain such requests because I'm getting a lot of them. I used to have a quite popular among agents YouTube channel, and they were always texting me. But here, I had a very good day that day. I sold the Royal Atlantis unit.
Lovely.
And I said, I want to celebrate it anyhow. And I said, okay, come, join, let's meet and talk. And after few minutes, I was already telling to the guy who was sitting across the table from me that, look, I'm ready to pay for this. I need it right now. And tell me how I can help you. And basically, the guy told me that he wants to build a centralized platform for the developers. And so the agent will not have to call to 5 different developers to find out information about the projects and especially availability. The main job of the sales representatives of the developer is to tell us what is available, what is not. If we'll take a look at all this, and I immediately realized that this platform will help me to speak with way more clients, and obviously to close way more deals. Because while I'm waiting for somebody to reply to me if this is still available or not, I'm losing time, and sometimes it can be stretched for more than a day. Yeah. And the clients then will start complaining, you're not coming back to us, etc., etc., etc. And there I said, let me help you with this. And initially I became an ambassador, then I became an investor in the product. But I was such big fan of this solution for the agents, and I really see how agents can benefit out of this. Everybody will benefit: developers, agents, clients. And after several meetings that I had with the developers, whom I know, I have a quite good reputation among in the industry with the company owners as well. They always were happy to see me as well in the office, even when I was working as an agent. So after several meetings, guys proposed me to become a co-founder on the platform, and this is how I became as well a co-founder. So I was initially an investor, ambassador, and then a co-founder. And right now, a few months ago, I retired from being an agent. You guys will tell me it's impossible to retire to be an agent. You will keep on selling.
That's a very unusual thing to hear at the moment. So for you to say that is quite unique, but it shows how successful what you're doing is.
Yes, 100%. And it's, in the same time, when you are an active guy on the market, at some time you get tired of sales, you get burned out. Yeah. And you need a break. And unfortunately, in our industry, it's quite difficult to find a good career path. Because for some top performing agents, it actually doesn't exist. You have to keep on increasing the ticket. Then you first you stop saying no to the 1 million dirham request, 2 million, 5 million, 10 million. Then you just chill and not doing anything, waiting for this 25, 50 million deals to come in. It's as well not such a bad scenario. But what I realized that in our industry, it's very difficult to transition somewhere else. You stay over there, and which is quite exciting as well in some sense. But luckily for me, And I get as well this feedback from my colleagues from this circle of like guys who were closing quite a lot. They're saying, "Oh, Denis, we're so happy for you that you're transitioning somewhere else from the sales." And it's a new world, and it's a very exciting world. The world of I'm talking about the world of startups. Especially a world of the startups in the prop tech side in Dubai.
Yeah.
It's something mind-blowing. Like real estate market in Dubai is the best market right now worldwide, and I'm telling it because I'm going to States. I'm attending the conferences. I know the market leaders over there. I've been in. I just came from Europe, so I'm speaking with a lot of companies, a lot of agents, and all of them are complaining about different things. And every time I realize how blessed we are to be in Dubai. And another thing that as well is exciting about all these things that was new for me is the venture capital world. So in venture capital world, it's like as well investments, but investment in the startups, and it's something unique and interesting as well to transition to.
Yeah, I think so. I think what you've actually done there, Denis, is you've got the busiest real estate market in the world. You've got one of the best places in the world for an IT startup, and you've combined the two.
Yes, on top of that, a big support from the government as well.
Yes, exactly. So, yeah. I mean, you tell us, because you know more than us about the IT and the technological side of things of what they're doing in Dubai. How are they encouraging people to come here?
How the government is encouraging people to come here. Well, all of us already know that there is a plan of 2040. But even if we will take a few steps back, how I look on Dubai is as well as on a big startup. And the founders of this startup invested heavily in this company, and their main, they have skin in the game that this startup should work. And they will do their best to attract a lot of people over here. And their motto, "Build and they will come," works, proven to be working very, very well. Yeah. And I don't know what's happening with my Instagram. Is it algorithms or something? But I keep on seeing different videos, especially from UK, from London, where people got robbed on the streets. Like some guys on the electric bikes are taking the phones, etc., etc., etc. And definitely, it's an unpleasant atmosphere to live in and to have your kids grown and stuff. And when people see that Dubai is so safe and the prices of the real estate is not that expensive, obviously they will be considering to come over here.
Yeah.
If we go back to proptech and what's happening with, there's a lot of people have come into the market over the last 15 years and tried to disrupt the market, as they call it, and most haven't succeeded. I mean, you're obviously succeeding here. What else do you think we need here, and what else are you going to do for us? Because I presume this is not the only thing you're going to be interested
in the proptech segment. There are so many things that can be improved in the industry, and mainly it's related to the communication between different parties. So, for example, if right now the client buys something from the developer, from time to time he still needs to send the email or WhatsApp, "Hey, send me the invoice. Hey, do this, hey, do that." So even such small and straightforward thing is not yet automated. And as usually, this client will disturb one of your guy, "Hey, ask the developer to send me this." So now, if you have a guy who's as well sold quite a few units, a good half of his day will be related to the after sales service that as well can be automated through.
I'm spending 3 or 4 hours a day just doing admin.
Yes, and this thing as well can be automated, and it's easy right now to automate it with the AI, and I'm sure we'll have big advancements in upcoming months even. Developer, client, then client, like the landlord and the tenant. There are some companies that already are doing good job over there. So the property management will have more automations, I really one thing that is not there yet, but I think somebody needs to come up with it, maybe it will be us, is that, for example, if you own several properties and if it's off-plan properties, it became a big headache for you to manage all this. So we have companies who are managing ready properties, but we need a company who will manage or software that will manage off-plan properties. Again, with the sales, how much will be the last 3 transactions in your building for the unit that you have, so you'll have an idea what is happening with your portfolio.
Yes.
And if you have like 3 or more units, you can track your how much is the current value of it. There is a company, our good friends Keeper. They have introduced it for the ready units, but we definitely need something like this for the off-plan.
Yes, we do.
And again, we have a lot of clients from all over the world, and not all of them speak English. You cannot imagine how big of the problem is for the Chinese investor to do any business over here. And I speak with the Chinese community over here. They're doing.
What problems, apart from the language, what problems do they face?
This is the main problem. They don't speak English. For example, because of this, they became very dependent on the agent. And sometimes agents are not very responsive. And the agent cannot tell the client, go and speak with the sales guy from the developer's office. Because in this developer particular, there is no Chinese desk, and obviously it reflects on their opinion on the market as well. And they don't know what they're doing. They cannot get me the documents and stuff. And something similar is related as well for the Russians and some other nationalities. And the solution is there. It all comes to the who will build.
And how do the developers feel about what you're up to? I mean, really, for instance. They been receptive?
They are our biggest fans.
Really?
On this, yeah.
Interesting.
So do they see that it's benefited them with their sales from being on your platform?
Of course, 100%. So for us, agents come first. Like we built a solution for them because we are agents and we understand their problems. So we know what will make them more efficient when they're communicating with the clients. And in some cases as well, we want to give them a little bit of motivation. We invite market leaders. Thank you for attending our podcast. It was amazing. Some guys who are working in the small companies, they don't have an access to the top producers to whom they can approach and ask some questions.
Yeah.
Hey, how did you close this deal? How did you find that client? What to do if I have this objection? Yeah. And even if you have this guy in the office, maybe he's too busy to answer your questions. So besides the tools that we provide for the developers, we as well provide this opportunity to speak with the top producers and find out how are they structuring the deals. So agents for us comes first, but once we have tons of agents on our platform, we have right now 16,000 agents on our platform right now.
In Dubai?
Predominantly Dubai, but we have some international as well.
Yeah.
So right now, if there is a new or even established developer who is launching the project, they would love to approach us and do some business.
Yeah.
And we are providing some service for the developers to get an access to the agents.
And what sounds good with what you're doing, it seems like you want to get more and more information, more and more data provided to whoever's looking on really, like to buy or whatever. So the more information you can provide for whether that's the developer, whether that's the buyer, whoever's looking, is that the whole thing of it, to make it like this is the one-stop shop to provide everything you need in Dubai for anything property?
Yes, but it's but we don't serve the customer. So our customer is the agent.
Right.
So you're saying that no one in the public domain will see what you're doing?
Well, they can go to the platform, but they will have access to the limited information.
What's that information?
Well, he can see the prices, the name of the projects, yeah, but he will not have an access to the contact details of the developer. They will not see the commission and some other.
Will he have a link to speak to someone?
No.
That's good. Just checking.
Yeah. We know very well where we should not interfere, and we definitely don't want to be like competitor with some platforms that are after the customer, because once you enter this segment of the market, you need to spend a lot of money on the marketing.
Mistrust as well. Huge mistrust if as soon as you start crossing over those lines.
And this as well, yes. So yeah, we are purely B2B, and obviously, whenever you hear a startup in the prop tech, as usually they think, "Oh, let's replace the agent," and this is the goal for so many startups. And in fact, some of them, like most successful companies in States, initially started with the idea, so let's replace the agent, and then they have to do the pivot because they realize it's not possible to do maybe at that stage, and now they became one of the biggest brokerage, like Compass is the company, name of the company. And to be honest, initially the main founder of Really as well tested this idea. Let's try to do the deals without agents back home, and they realized no, it doesn't work. So let's.
So they did try it.
Yeah. Initially,
when you say back home, what do you mean? Where is
in
it
Ukraine.
From? Ukraine, right?
Yeah. My partners are from Ukraine. They launched it over there, but then because of the war, they have to come here.
Sounds very, very interesting, and onwards and upwards. So over to you, Stephen. With
I was going to say, you brought up the subject of Ukraine and Russia, etc. I've noticed there's quite a few developers who are moving over here from that part of the world. And they seem to be doing what I consider to be a very good job. None of them have finished what they're doing because they haven't had the time to finish the buildings. What have you got to say about that?
Incredible job.
Yeah.
Incredible job. And there is a statistic that in 2020 there were 9 developers that were controlling 50% of the market, and right now it's more than 100 of them that 9 developers were controlling 90% of the market. Now 100 developers controlling 45%. So there are a lot of new players that came to the market.
Yeah.
And it's very good that they came over here because we get the benefit out of this. Our clients are getting benefits out of this. So competition makes the market better. And even you can see that some guys are way more advanced in the way how they present the projects, what kind of software they're using.
Yeah.
And it really helps. And they keep on coming. There are so many guys who want to enter Dubai market, and we keep on getting requests as well, like help us to find the land or something like this. Like,
could really help with that? If a developer did come from you, would that be a thing that you deal with personally as this developer friend, I'm going to help them, or would you do it through as the really business?
No. We will transfer this lead to somebody who. Well, honestly speaking, I found that the best way to do business over here is to introduce this guy to existing developer and to do the JV. It's way faster, and right now time is very sensitive point because the earlier you enter the market, I feel it's the better, rather than to postpone it and open all the licenses and start launching the project in 1 year or a year and a half. So usually we're trying to do some introductions, and guys put you have funds, they have expertise, they have licenses. Let's start the JV. From our side, from Really side, we can give some consultation about
your network must be fantastic.
Yeah. Of course, yeah. And from our side, we can give some feedback regarding the type of the units, regarding the payment plan, etc., etc., etc. Because unfortunately, some of these guys, they make a huge mistake. They take their local expertise from, let's say, there was a developer, or maybe they will understand. Okay, from Baltic countries. So they came over here and they are building a project with the 2 and 3 bedroom apartments, huge ones, big sizes, in the community where we usually sell studios and 1 beds,
Okay.
So it's not really family oriented. And I understand that we told them put a break on this project, it's not going to work, and you need to redo it, otherwise you might lose a lot of money. And we can see that some of the developers are losing the money because they didn't have a chance to consult with some guys who are on the market for a long time.
Yeah.
What do you think about 2 and 3 bedroom apartments, Paul?
Well, while we are talking about 2 and 3 bed apartments, I'll tell you what we did, Denis. You wouldn't have seen it. We got this report done on Dubai Hills, Arjan and JVC, and it was just on the breakdown of the units of the studios 1, 2s and 3s to see what the makeup was. I haven't got the figures in front of me, but I'll just tell you them quickly, which we found extremely interesting. So, for instance, Arjan, you've got 13,000 studios and 1 beds. You've got 2,000 2 beds, 300 3 beds. In JVC, you've got 40,000 studios and 1 beds, 7,000 2 beds, 1,000 3 beds. In Dubai Hills, you've got more 3 beds, but you've still got mainly 1 and 2 beds. So we've been having this discussion with all the people moving to Dubai, particularly families. This is going to continue, particularly from Europe, from what we're seeing. They're not going to be able to afford townhouses or villas like traditionally they could have done. So what are they going to be looking for? They're going to be looking for big apartments, particularly 3-bed apartments or 2-bed apartments with maids. And there's a massive undersupply in Dubai. So we've been talking to our investors and saying, look, traditionally, as we know, you'd always go for the smaller units for the ROI, easier to buy, easier to sell. But now there's actually this bit of I think this movement in Dubai where it's changing over the last few years. It's just sharing. What do you think, Stephen?
No, I agree totally.
I completely agree as well.
Yeah.
If I'll be able to pull out like all the deals that I've closed in the last 2 years, mainly I was focusing on the 3 beds.
Really?
And
why was that?
For the same reason. Like
Really?
just more end users are coming, less competition, and the end user is ready to pay more than an investor. But at the same time, like in some, if we are developers, we need to build something that we can sell.
Exactly. This is the problem, Dennis. This is what I think. So over the last 20 years, effectively, we've had all different types of developers. We've always had your EMARs, etc., but the other developers. But say 100-unit development. Now, we know traditionally probably 70 or 80 of those are going to be studios and 1 beds, maybe 10 2 beds and 5 3 beds, something like that. But that's continued over the years. But the developers are still scared to build bigger units because they think they're going to be stuck with the bigger units because obviously the market for them. So the actual undersupply of the bigger units is actually going to increase because they're still building a massive amount of studios and 1 beds. So when they say we're handing over 30 to 60,000 units a year, I say that's great. But what's the breakdown of those units? Because if they're nearly all studios and 1 beds, or there's very few 3 and 4 beds, that's not going to help the main part of the market. So we have got things here we've got to balance up.
Definitely.
Yeah. But in the same time, if we 3 of us will sit right now over here and we need to make a plan what we as developers need to build and sell.
Yeah.
The dream of any developer is to build a building full of studios, because it will be faster sale. It is a faster sale for them, and for the clients, especially if somebody plans to flip it, to keep the end user in mind and to sell to the end user is a way better option.
Yeah, and it's just, and this has always been our thing with studios and 1 beds. Studios great for ROI, etc. But the difference to me between a studio and a 1 bed is you're never ever going to get. Well, very rarely is anyone going to aspire to want to live in a studio full time. But they would live in a 1 bed full time.
I had only one deal where somebody bought a studio for the end user. It was like a purchase for the son who will go here to the university.
Oh, really? A student, for sure.
Only one deal out of all that I had throughout the years. Yeah.
So when you come to, because we talk about exit strategy in Dubai, which we know most of the agents don't, because what we sell our buyers today, we want to know they're going to be able to sell in 5 or 10 years. So it is extremely important to us.
And make money.
Of course.
Yeah.
The whole package is going to be a successful investment that's going to work for them until they decide to exit.
One of the things you mentioned just now is you said that you were selling 3-bedroom apartments or 3-bedroom properties to end users because they are the only ones that were prepared to pay for a 3-bedroom apartment.
Resale. I'm selling to the investors. So my investors are selling it later to the end users.
Right. So you are selling 3 beds to investors.
Yeah.
Yeah. And what are you telling them when you sell them a 3-bed? Because I find it quite difficult to up someone from a 1 or 2 bed because everybody wants to be safe. They want to know that they're going to get a good yield. Whatever happens if the market dips or whatever, I'm always going to be able to rent this out. A 3-bed is more difficult historically. although we are now talking about the fact that there's going to be a shortage. So what are you telling your investors about why they should buy a 3-bed?
Well, I talk about the exit strategy
Right.
from the deal, and the main sentence, it's way easier to sell to the end user rather than to the
Sure.
investor, in case if you have a product that might be interesting for the end user. Because it doesn't mean that if you get a 3-bed anywhere, you can sell it to the family. Because when there is a family, there is a wife who as well influence the decision.
live in the house.
And the wife will say, "Oh, I don't like these amenities," or I don't like there is an empty plot in front of me. While we as guys will say, "It's okay."
Yeah.
I don't see any problem. So we'll still have to pick and choose the right project, but I have adjusted big time the strategy for my clients after Corona. In the Corona, we realized that before Corona, everybody was selling just studios, but during Corona, everybody realized that you cannot sell the studio. Yeah, there was a big problem with that. But the townhouses, the big units, they were on demand. And even what I've changed is that if before I was quite often pitching the entire floor to the client, because the developers sometimes give you an access
Or the
to
building, Dennis?
Oh, the building, yes. I had one under my belt. So if the developer gives an access for the bulk buyers in advance, before I was focusing on the floors, but for the last 3 years, mainly I was saying, look, let's buy several apartments of one series rather than entire floor.
Interesting.
It looks like when you buy a floor, it's easy to manage.
But it's not a lot of the time because everyone wants the same units. There's always going to be the best and the worst.
Yeah,
and you're stuck with the worst.
Yeah, and when you buy the floor, some of the units have a prime view, and some of them are facing back, and then you realize, and even when you pitching a floor for the resale. Somebody saying, I'm happy to take these 2 and 3 beds, but these 1 beds that are facing back, keep with you. Said, no, we are selling full floor. And after some negotiations like this, I stopped doing this, and we start to buy several series in some buildings, and it's proven to be amazing.
Yeah.
Even there was a bad case in Shoba, there was a project called Waves Grande. Why it happened to be bad? Because the payment plan there was 2080. Okay, it sounds like an incredible payment plan when the market goes up. Yeah, you pay only 20% and you resell closer to the completion. But what happened? Because of some things related to the currency, a lot of Russian investors who bought over there, they couldn't finish the payment of 80%. And over the sudden, we have a lot of sellers for the 80%. But even in that bad situation, because we have the best units in the project, we managed to sell some of them and cover the payments for the rest of the apartments. If I had the entire floor over there, my client will get definitely screwed there.
No, I agree because floors sound great. Oh, we take a floor, we take 5 floors. But if someone put the work in, and if they got the blueprint to the building before anyone else, you could go through the building literally just picking out all the best units, like the best 10 or the best 20, and there'd be that is the downside with floors. It sounds great and easy, and if you can buy and sell floors, just as a floor, but as soon as they start looking at the individual units, that's when you have the problems.
Let's face it, floors are sold by agents. It's a push by an agent. It's easier for an agent to sell a floor than then start doing all that hard work in selecting all the best units. Isn't it better? And it's just lazy agents. That's what it is.
Yeah, but sometimes there is a restriction from the developer that we can provide but 1 floor. But then again, it comes to the negotiation. You can sit with anybody and discuss it as well.
Again, another thing you just mentioned there that I picked up on is Russia.
Yeah.
A lot of your clients are from Russia. What's happening with that at the moment?
Well, that market definitely slowed down. I've checked the numbers for Imar. Last year, they were number 3 in the list of 10. This year, they're not in the list of 10 at all.
No.
You cannot see there.
There's some interesting countries in the list of 10. Egypt, Turkey.
Iraqis.
Turkey.
Yeah.
So one of the things that people have, not an objection, but people love dissing and giving Dubai a hard time. And one of the things that, all the Russians are leaving, so the market's going to crash, etc.
Well,
how do you comment on that?
Look, the big benefit of Dubai is that it doesn't rely only on one nationality.
Yes. Exactly right. I'll tell you why. On that point, 2022 obviously was the year of the Russian buyers, but 2022, House had a record year, and 2% of our client base was Russians.
Yes.
So it just shows how diverse the market is.
90% of his clients were probably Russian.
Of course.
Yeah. Because he speaks the language.
Surprisingly, before 2020, my main clients were from India.
Really?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
So it wasn't always.
Did you scare them into buying?
Sorry?
Did you scare them into buying?
You're frightened. Yes. They do have tall Indians. They do.
Yeah.
Anyway.
But yeah, talking about the Russian clients, like definitely for some of them right now it's more difficult to purchase something because again with the currency thing that happened like we had an accelerated like income of the funds from there because again of the situation. Like people who had money somewhere, they said, "Oh, Jesus, I need to take money out of the country because something might happen," and that's why they were taking out and bringing it here. Right now, there are people who still need to liquidate their assets over there and again take the money out of the country. There are not so many options where they can go. They can go to London. They cannot go to Europe. They cannot go to maybe not to all states, but in some states they cannot go. Turkey is not an option right now. So Dubai is on the map, and they are still.
Why not Turkey? I know it's got problems. I know it's got major problems, but it's always been okay. Do you know
but
what I
their
mean?
economy, inflation,
Turkey,
It's been a while. It's been like for
Turkey,
ages,
I don't want to say like that I predicted this, but like Turkey made like a very bad move towards the international investors. So they were attracting a lot of money because they were telling you like you buy the property, you get the residency. And a lot of people came. And when I was in Turkey, I was like, after a few days in the hotel, you get bored. And if you're in the real estate, okay, let me go see the real estate, let me check some projects. So I went to different projects, I checked them, and I was thinking, maybe I should buy here as well, just to have something, and maybe like the money will go to the parents, extra flow for them. But then I was like kind of walking there, and I realized that everybody were saying that the prices went up big time in the Turkey, and the locals, they were not happy about it. So locals in Dubai, they are okay with that. Everybody's coming, bringing the money. Yeah. But when you are the local in Turkey and everything starts growing high, and you cannot afford buying this, and soon the election comes, maybe you will say something to the government, guys, do something about this. We cannot afford to buy a house anymore.
Yeah.
And this is actually what happened. So there were elections, and the government, to please the local population, they removed some of the benefits from buying the property over there. And this is how people got screwed in Turkey. So yeah, it's not an option anymore.
Right. And what options are there? Because I mean, I think for the last couple of years, it's been Dubai, and where else is there?
Are you talking about Russians?
I'm just talking about anywhere in the world which is as
anywhere in the
attractive as
world.
Dubai. I mean, where would Russians go now? Where's the other popular places?
Look, Bali is an incredible market right now.
Bali,
yes.
Yeah.
It's different to Dubai. It's mainly like a market for the rental income, but it's definitely something very interesting, and it's similar to Dubai in terms of attention from different nationalities. Like guys from Australia buying there, Chinese are buying there a lot. And Russians are going there.
It's very crowded though. People talk about the traffic here, but Bali traffic, I mean, it's just ridiculous.
Have you been there?
Yeah, a couple of times. I'm going next week in a couple of weeks' time.
Oh, you're going there?
In a couple of weeks' time again.
Yes. The biggest developer over there is our partner, and once you're there, I can put you in touch if you're interested to take a look on the projects.
I'm not looking at projects. I'm relaxing.
Yeah. So
but thank you.
So Bali is on the map. Everybody were waiting for the Saudi to be open, but looks like Saudi will not be an option for the next several years.
No, I think that's I think that's a 10 to 20 year plan, isn't it? I think we have to consider that. Okay, so we're just coming to an end and we'd just like to finish. We're going to ask myself and Denis and Stephen what they would buy with the following amounts of investment money. So, Denis, I have 1 million dirhams. What should I buy?
I will look for something on the Dubai Island.
Something on Dubai Islands. Thank you. Stephen?
I'd look at something maybe in Town Square.
In Town Square?
Town Square, nice community, sister company to Emaar.
Okay, thank you. I'd look at a studio in Rove, in Burj Khalifa district. Denis, 5 million dirhams I need to spend. What would you buy?
I'll buy something in the expo next to the new airport.
Yes, so would I. What would you buy, Stephen?
Expo, probably.
Yes, I think we're all on board Expo
or
here.
Mina Rashid.
Expo or Mina Rashid. Okay, thank you. And the last one, 10 million dirhams, Denis.
I'll buy a villa from Aldar.
A villa from Aldar. And Stephen?
Anything from Emaar.
Anything from Emaar. I'm going to go for
a townhouse or a villa.
I'm going to go for a Maha in Expo or an Acres by Morass.
Oh, can you get a Maha for 10 million?
No, they're 12 million. I'm going to stretch like Denis did with Dubai Islands. We've got to stretch.
Very good. You've got a good payment plan anyway on those. Yeah. Very
Lovely.
Good.
Okay. Thank you very much. It's been an absolute pleasure, Denis. Thank you for joining us today. Thank you, Stephen.
Thank you, Paul.
Thank you for everyone who's listening. And until next time, thank you very much.
Thank you, guys.
Cheers.
Thank you. Cheers.